What if I told you that Gobbles, not Kit, is the true hero and main protagonist of Gameoverse, and that he is, unironically, the chosen one? Yes, I actually believe this. I think that the iPad kid voiced by a Game Grump is actually going to be the most important and consequential character in all of Gameoverse. I think Gobbles is the chosen one for 3 reasons that I will cover in detail throughout this video, along with some predictions on where the plot is heading towards the end of the video. So stick around if you're interested in hearing those predictions. Now, let's get into the cliff notes as to why I believe Gobbles is the chosen one. First, there's something special about his code that may actually give him an advantage in combat compared to the other characters in the Farcade team. Second, his whole identity is that he can learn and adapt to things well, which I think is a dead giveaway as to why he's going to be really important in potential future episodes. Third, Gobbles is the main character of the original 2009 version of Gameoverse, which leads me to think that he's a bit more essential to the plot than you may think. And if I'm right, this may have some major story implications. More on that later. So now that we went through the cliff notes, let's unpack each of these points in more depth. Starting with how Gobbles' code is different than everyone else's. Gobbles has something that no other character in the entire cast appears to have. Plot armor. No, seriously, literal plot armor. He doesn't have a health bar. Every Gameoverse character, at least on the Farcade side, the hero's side, can take damage in their game. They have visible health bars that lower in fights. Everyone has some measurable way to lose. Except for Gobbles. Gobbles comes from an educational point-and-click adventure game where you essentially can't lose. And most likely can't die either. You just click on the thing and the thing happens. Did you guys have this game growing up? I did. And you can't die in it. Older games than this inspired Gobbles, but you can't die in those games either. And also, we've seen other characters heal using items like apple juice, but when Gobbles drinks the apple juice, there's no indication that he's being healed. Come to think of it, both the ship and Kit underwent noticeable damage from the crash landing, but Gobbles didn't. And I know this may be a reach, but it's possible that Gobbles finds out he can't game over from standard attacks. He may just be It feels like the kind of twist that a show like this could pull. But if you think I'm reaching a little too much here, then maybe these next 2 points might be a bit more convincing. We see that Gobbles adapts surprisingly well to situations that should be completely outside of his comfort zone.
That's what I do. I learned.
He's thrown into a world that's nothing like his educational game that he came from, yet Gobbles adjusts fast. And despite having arguably the least relevant skill set, he becomes a very valuable part of the team. Like, he was able to pin down that Flappers was the hero before Kit did, based off of just context clues.
Do you think this guy could be the hero?
No way, Gobbles.
You sure about that?
And then he was able to help Kit figure out a new plan of attack after they let Flappers get away. That boy was locked the fuck in the whole time. And if Kit would have listened to him earlier, Flappers' world might still be here.
Damn!
And now we have to listen to his voice for the rest of the series.
That's what friends do!
Jesus Christ.
If Gobbles is able to be that valuable to the team on his first adventure, imagine how well he'd do as time goes on and he learns more. I'm telling you, the power scaling on his learning abilities is gonna be crazy. Not to mention that the world presented in Gameoverse is very gray morally. I think if anyone is gonna figure out that something fishy is going on, it'll be, ironically, the Lernosaurus.
Whoa!
A lot of people have pointed out that Schlat's character may be a twist villain. I don't know if I really buy this, but it would make sense why he's so on edge about Gobbles. He could be afraid that his ability to pick up on things and learn things quickly will lead to him figuring out his secret villainy, and/or the Farcade's secret villainy as a whole. But that's just a theory.
A game theory.
Yeah, I don't personally think Schlatbot is gonna be evil, but it's a fun idea to entertain. I do think there's a chance that the Farcade, and mostly Dusk, turns out to be the true villain of the series, or at least extremely morally gray on some Miguel O'Hara shit.
I'm Spider-Man!
You're a mistake!
All right, on to the last reason I think Gobbles is the chosen one. Let's talk about the original show. Well, not much really happens throughout the original 2009 web series of Gameoverse. The show was mostly just about making jokes, and each episode was like 2 minutes long, so it wasn't very plot heavy.
It's Ovary Raptor, me, the sexual education dinosaur.
On top of that, the show never really finished, so any deeper plot points that they were gonna get to, they were never able to. Now, Ross O'Donovan, the creator of Gameoverse, has made it very clear that there's nothing in common with the original show and the reboot. and that the reboot is a total reboot, only taking a few characters from the original show. Well, I mean, I think he's telling the truth, to be honest. But that being said, Gobbles and Flappers are both clearly important characters to him, as they both make a return as main characters in the reboot. I mean, they got figurines already. They're important. And while the new show has Kit, who is clearly the main character, I do think Gobbles is going to be extremely important, as he was the main character of the original show. In the original show, Gobbles is ashamed of being a Learnosaurus, and he tries to lie about it, saying he's a, quote, super mega ultra death bringer. Here, just play the clip.
Well, I'm Gobbles, the super ultra mega death bringing guns and lasers Saurus Rex.
Oh, sounds neat.
And it's my belief that throughout the show, he was originally intended to accept himself for being a Learnosaurus and use his special Learnosaurus skills to save the day.
I think they're trying to manipulate us.
Yes, you're smarter than you look.
This feels like where the plot was going, not that they had written it yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a similar arc in this show as well. I don't think it'll be about him accepting himself, but instead about him becoming as or more competent than the other heroes by the end of the show. And I think that he'll accomplish that by doing something that only he could do to save the Gameoverse, or something like that. I don't know. It's pretty early to make theories on a show that hasn't even been greenlit yet, and I know that. All that said, if you like this video and want to support a small creator, consider leaving a like or subscribing. Every single time someone subscribes, it actually makes my day.